Hey there and welcome to this new video. So after a brief introduction of what GetSales does and what it is, let's just go right into it and create an account. Once we create our account through the login section, we will essentially see this completely empty dashboard. And it gives you basically the steps that you need to do in order to have your platform fully set up. And we will explore also in this video the various sections. So as a first thing, let's set up an account. So what I'll do here is I will create a new profile and I'll just put Alfredo, my surname. I'll just put myself. And here I could put a label. Let's say that if you wanted to label the account for something like in particular, maybe a client, maybe something, you could also leave it blank. And then we'll just go right ahead in creating. We'll choose a country, or you could use your own proxy. It is if you want like even extra, how do you say, even extra protection, you could use your own proxy, but the GetSales proxy is pretty much the same thing. So I would just go and use this one. This is my go-to option. And then I will press continue. Once that is done, it will open basically a cloud browser, which is nothing more than a session that is online, and people can log into this session and as many times as they want from as many devices that they want. And essentially, in the eyes of LinkedIn, in the eyes of the internet, it will only be one instance, one device, one everything, even if there's 100 connected. And this is a great protection layer for your outreach. So I'll just pause the video real quick. I'll put my credentials. Okay, so login done. It will ask you sometimes either a code in an email or it'll notify your LinkedIn app. One other important thing to note is if you're on Mac, your Command C, Command V won't work. You'll have to use your Control C, Control V. So I'll just accept now the request on my app. And here essentially I'll go on my LinkedIn profile. Basically, once you log in, you just have to press I have logged in here at the bottom right, and it is ready to go. It will just load for a few seconds, but essentially it will now show you your full account. And once that's done, your connection is done basically. So then that means you could leverage GetSales inside of automations, inside of everything. You can check your leads with the inbox feature. Will take some time to load. On top of that, as you can see, basically now my account is connected. And based on the account health, you can leave this on, which is smart limits. Basically, smart limits means that depending on your account health, it will recalculate how many limits you can put on your connection request, on the direct messages, on the emails, profile visits, and so on and so on. So it automatically adjusts it in your best interest in order just to keep up with all the health changes, because soon we will see also in a few minutes the basically an overall account health and how we can optimize our account. On top of that, you can also connect your Gmail or your custom SMTP. You can also impose yourself auto tasks, so it's usually like follow-ups and stuff. Here you can create custom field. But the main two sections here are the LinkedIn one, where you can also switch these off and put any number. Here you will be able to see basically your health score. Usually the features that are very important are your account needs to be minimum 6 months old, no more than 2 devices connected. This includes also your GetSales connection. So ideally you just want to have GetSales with a laptop, or even push it slightly with like GetSales, a laptop, and your phone. On top of that, you shouldn't have too many pending requests. So the limit is like 500. You can have more, but above 500, your health score starts to go down. And in general, there's also other features, also like your activity, if you're active on LinkedIn, or if you are like changing devices constantly, that's another bad feature. So account connected. Now let's just go through all the different sections. So here you have dashboards. I'll just press finish and close on this. So basically here what happens is you will have all your sender accounts, so all your LinkedIn accounts connected, and you can essentially see all the data that comes from your campaigns, checking by time, checking even by single automation, and essentially gives you a perfect walkthrough all the data that is happening. The contacts, this is like the place where you would upload your contacts. So essentially here, all your contacts that are uploaded will be here. You can filter them by all sorts of things, even for specific automations like campaigns that you're using them for, or specific sender profiles that are linked to those. On top of that, you can this is like essentially the same thing but for companies. And then here you have all the lists you upload. In imports, you are able to essentially import from anything. So you could go from a LinkedIn basic search to a sales navigator search or a simple CSV just to upload all the leads directly to GetSales. And the best part is when you create a list, let's just say like test, I can upload the leads directly to this test list. And then this test list could be used in any of my campaigns. Let me now guide you through the rest, and then we'll also see in the next video how to launch a campaign. So AI templates is essentially mostly for like how do you say, for automating conversations or in general just having pre-made messages. While this is the most important section, which is automations, and it basically means campaigns. In automation section, you can create a new campaign starting with a template. The most used one will be the connect and follow up, which is essentially it will wait to see if you're already connected with that person, then send a connection request if you're not connected, waits a few days, and then send a follow up, or you can even add more steps in the process. But essentially, any GetSales automation more or less looks like this, where basically you'll have the start of the automation. You will also decide in the contact section which contacts you want to basically add. You can also choose them from a list. So you can go for list and you can just enter the list name like test. Now there's 0, but in the next video, we'll show basically how to launch a campaign. And essentially here you can also choose your sender profile and then finally you launch. But of course, the most important piece is this one where you could choose your conditions in which you follow, not follow, and basically interact with the profile. There are a lot of actions you could use. So there's send connection request, send message. Of course, this happens only when you're connected, or else if you're not connected, you should send an in-mail. You can withdraw connection request after X amount of days that the person didn't connect with you. Then you can send them an email, or you could also kind of do like some mini nurturing, where essentially you can visit profile, like latest post, comment latest post, endorse skills, and then there's also like more advanced nodes, which is like rotate sender profile, which is really cool. And it basically means that if in an automation you have like 5 profiles, let's say one doesn't get connected to that specific prospect, you could just rotate and try with another account. Then this one lets you connect it with other automations, and the call API and custom webhooks will be the ones that I'll cover in the next videos, because those are the cool ones that make you integrate with practically anything. So this means sending WhatsApps as follow-up, sending anything as a follow-up, or just sending anything in your flow. In Logic, we have essentially kind of this one where it's like, is it connected? What happens if yes? What happens if no? A/B tests, which is basically like using one copy and then seeing the data of the other copy. Then you have like condition rules. Time delay is basically like waiting X amount of days. And then here is like triggers. So you either wait for a connection or wait for a reply, and then an action happens. Yeah. And then we have CRM actions, which we'll cover now, which is basically in the CRM section of GetSales, they have let me just get that. So essentially the CRM section is this one, where we were looking before at the lists, but here you could basically use it as a CRM because you're gonna filter by statuses. So in specific points of your automation, you could put that a lead became like an engaging lead, a interested lead, or anything. Then finally, we have messages. So here you can connect all the messages you have, even across multiple accounts, which is cool to reply to leads instead of going to LinkedIn. This really helps, especially if you have a lot of accounts connected. Manual tasks is mostly used to remind yourself that you have to follow up on leads, just do actions, and then basically get signals from them in order to then do them manually and get sales. We covered the sender profiles, and then here there are some things that we will cover now in the next videos, especially the API section, which is the one that helps you integrate GetSales and add leads from different platforms. This could be Anydan, Make, Zapier, Clay. And yeah, so that's basically it. This is a kind of a walkthrough of the whole platform. Now in the next video, we'll be seeing how to launch your first campaign.